This is from the Living Bible. I don't remember the copyright on it, but I'm going to read Deuteronomy. I'll read small amounts at a time. Okay. This book records Moses' address to the people of Israel when they were camped in the valley of the Arabah in the wilderness of Moab, east of the Jordan River. Cities in the area included Suf, Paran, Tophel, Laban, Hazeroth, and Dizahab. The speech was given on February 15th, 40 years after the people of Israel left Mount Horeb, though it takes only 11 days to travel by foot from Mount Horeb to Kadesh Barnea, going by way of Mount Seir. At the time of this address, King Sihon of the Amorites had already been defeated at Heshbon, and King Og of Bashan had been defeated. Pay attention to King Og of Bashan. Had been defeated. At Ashtaroth near Edrei. Now I'm pronouncing the E as an I. I don't know if they do the same in Hebrew as they do in Cherokee, but some of the languages, I is like an E, Edrei or Edrei. Here then is Moses' address to Israel, stating all the laws that Adonai had commanded him to pass on to them. It was 40 years ago at Mount Horeb that Yahuwah our God told us, "You have stayed here long enough. Now go and occupy the hill country of the Amorites, the valley of the Arabah, and the Negeb, and all the land of Canaan and Lebanon, the entire area from the shores of the Mediterranean Sea to the Euphrates River. I am giving all of it to you. Go in and possess it, for it is the land the Lord promised to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all of their descendants." At that time I told the people, "I need help. You are a great burden for me to carry all by myself, for Yahuwah has multiplied you like stars, and may he multiply you 1,000 times more and bless you as he has promised. But what can one man do to settle all your quarrels and problems? So choose some men from each tribe who are wise, experienced, and understanding, and I will appoint them as your leaders." They agreed to this. I took the men they selected, some from every tribe, and appointed them as administrative assistants in charge of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens, to decide their quarrels and assist them in every way. I instructed them to be perfectly fair at all times, even to foreigners. When giving your decisions, I told them, never favor a man because he is rich. Be fair to great and small alike. Do not fear their displeasure. Do not fear man. Do not fear their displeasure when you judge a matter, for you are judging in the place of Yahuwah. Bring me any cases too difficult for you, and I will handle them. And I gave them other instructions at that time also. Then we left Mount Horeb and traveled through the great and terrible desert, finally arriving among the Amorite hills to which Adonai had directed us. We were then at Kadesh Barnea, on the border of the Promised Land, and I said to the people, "Adonai has given us this land. Go and possess it as he told us to. Don't be afraid. Don't even doubt." Now, I'm sure that Lord God translates into, it could be Elohim. I'm not real sure. I haven't done that kind of work. Other people have. I just use, he's got many titles. But they replied, "First, let's send out spies to discover the best route of entry and to decide which cities we should capture first." This seemed like a good idea, so I chose 12 spies, one from each tribe. They crossed into the hills and came to the valley of Eshcol and returned with samples of the local fruit. One look was enough. One look was enough to convince us that it was indeed a good land. One look was enough to convince us, I'm getting distracted, that it was indeed a good land that Adonai had given us. But the people refused to go in and rebelled against his command. They murmured and complained in their tents and said, "Yahuwah must hate us, bringing us here from Egypt to be slaughtered by these Amorites. What are we getting into? Our brothers who spied out the land have frightened us with their report. They say that the people of the land are tall and powerful. They say that the people of the land are tall and powerful, and that the walls of their cities rise high into the sky. They have even seen giants there, the descendants of the Anakim. Whole nother subject. Don't believe the stories of the beings coming. They're fallen angels. They're not here for our good. They hate humanity. But I said to them, don't be afraid. Yahuwah is your leader, and he will fight for you with his mighty miracles, just as you saw him do in Egypt. And you know how he has cared for you again and again here in the wilderness, just as a father cares for his child. But nothing I said did any good. They refused to believe that Adonai, our Creator, who had led them all the way and had selected the best places for them to camp, and had guided them by a pillar of fire at night and a pillar of cloud during the day. Well, Yahuwah heard their complaining and was very angry. He vowed that not one person in that entire generation would live to see the good land he had promised their fathers, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, who, because he had wholly followed Yahuwah, would receive as his personal inheritance some of the land he had walked over. And Yahuwah was even angry with me. Moses is saying this. Yahuwah was even angry with me because of them, and said to me, you shall not enter the promised land. Instead, your assistant Joshua, the son of Nun, shall lead the people. Encourage him as he prepares to take over the leadership. I will give the land to the children they said would die in the wilderness. But as for you of the older generation, turn around now and go back on across the desert toward the Red Sea. Then they confessed, we have sinned. We will go into the land and fight for it as Yahuwah has told us to. So they strapped on their weapons. They soldiered up, they tried to, and thought it would be easy to conquer the whole area. But Yahuwah said to me, to Moses, tell them not to do it. I will not go with them. They will be struck down before their enemies. I told them, but they wouldn't listen. Instead, they rebelled against the Creator's command and went on up into the hill country to fight. But the Amorites who lived there came out against them and chased them like bees and killed them from Seir to Hormah. Then they returned and wept before the Creator, but he wouldn't listen. So they stayed there at Kadesh for a long time. Okay, we're going to leave that. They didn't listen. He wanted to give them a city at a time. They had to go in and take ground and hold it. They had to go in, take ground, and hold it. And they had to expand out. They couldn't go in and get rid of all of these enemies and all of the giants still left in the land. There was only a number of people and that could fight, that he had been readying them to fight. It took time to go in. So we only take ground, small areas at a time. We get established, we occupy, we hold that ground, we've got a good base, and we move out from there. And this is in economics and business, family life, agriculture, anything, any model. You go in and you take care of your Jerusalem, then Judea, then Samaria, and all the end of the earth. Take care of our little circle first, and that's what we're working on. Deuteronomy is one of the first 5 books of the Bible, called the book of life, called the Torah. They're the book of Moses. All of the instructions are there. And if you add Matthew 5, 6, and 7 on top of that with this, you have a perfect world. So we're going to read more of Deuteronomy. Shalom. I hope you read these books for yourself. You should know the first 5 books of the scriptures. Easy. You should know what's in this book. You should know what it says in Leviticus about marking your body for the dead and shaving for the dead and tattooing and things like that. You need to know those things. If you say you want to know the Creator, you need to know his book, and this is his book. First 5 books are his book. So you have a wonderful morning, and this is my dog, Honey. She's very large. She is a Great Pyrenees boxer mix. She's a wonderful guard dog. Okay, it's going on 10 minutes. Shalom.